YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name's Steve and that's Howie. We're out in the New Forest again today. I decided to come out here just because I knew that it was going to be absolutely freezing today. On the drive down here it's -2, so I know it's going to be absolutely freezing. We've got an absolutely beautiful covering of frost all over the trees and all over the ground here. I've just come out to an open spot just to see what I can get before that all melts really. I've eyed up a couple of compositions that I want to take, so I want to set the camera up in a minute and go through them. But at the moment I'm going to have to work a little bit faster than normal, because obviously as soon as that sun comes up any higher, all this is going to melt, and then I can, once that's all done, I can then make my way back into the woodland and I can slow down a little bit. But obviously at the moment time is of the essence, so I'm going to set up and get my first composition. See you in a minute. Right, I found the first composition. Obviously I've got to work fast today because everything is going to melt within a matter of minutes, I think, at the moment. So what we've got first is 1, 2, 3 trees there and one in the background. Now I'm not quite sure in which angle to take this. Oh, there is a fir tree just there and I don't want any of the branches, these ones here, encroaching on my shot. So I'm going to come back and I'm just going to basically try and capture what I need. So 1, 2 and possibly the third one in the distance, or 1, 2, 3 in the foreground. I am going to border it with these dead ferns that are covered in frost, and also they're catching the light as well, and the top is going to be basically bordered by the sun itself. I'm just going to cut it off a little bit so the sun doesn't actually encroach into the picture, it's just the rays of light that are coming through. So I'm just going to get back on my tripod and I'll try and walk you through the image. Right, I'm not quite sure if you can even see it in the back of the camera, but I am going to zoom in where I want, which will be the frost covered branches, and I'm going to manually focus that, get that as sharp as I possibly can, which is there. Right, we'll come back out to take a look at the image. Yeah, that looks good because we've got backlit and the sun's just coming through from behind and it's really lighting it up. So let me take that. It's 1/400th of a second, f5.6, ISO 100. I don't want to underexpose this picture and I don't want to overexpose it, so I've got it the meter dead in the middle at the moment. I don't know if it needs to go up a stop or down a stop, but I don't want to blow the image out. But at the same time, I don't want to get it too dark either, because it just look weird where you're shooting directly into sunlight. So it is a really, really bright image. Let me just take it up a stop, see if that makes any difference. So 1/250th of a second, f5.6, ISO 100. Let's see if that's any better. That's a little bit better actually, so I'm quite happy with that. That'll look good in Lightroom once I've messed around with that a little bit, just brightened it up possibly. Right, now I've got my first image in the bag. It's time to slow down I think now, so I can really take my time, have a good explore and see what I can get now. So I've come into what I can describe as a little Christmas tree forest really. As you can see everywhere behind me, they're about, I don't know, 5 to 10 foot high Christmas trees really. And then what I've seen is right in the middle there, let me just show you, I've got a tree on its own and it's just got some dead leaves left on it. So that gives a little splash of colour to the rest of the image. All the way around it, as you can see, it's just all green. We've got a lot of mist in the background, and I am waiting for the sun, because the sun is directly behind. I'm going to wait for the sun to come out, and then it's going to backlight all those leaves. So I'll just put this back on the tripod and talk you through the settings. Right, so this image, I'm just going to zoom in first. We're on manual focus, and I'm just going to get those leaves as sharp as possible, which is there. I'll come back out, and then I can talk you through the image. If I just zoom in a little bit more. Right, so we've got this just off centre to the right a little bit. We've got all the mist in the background on that side there. Like I say, I am waiting for the sun to come out to backlight this, so I'll be taking some pictures now, but the picture I might show will be with the sun, because obviously I can't just stand here and roll this camera until the clouds move out the way. So I'll just talk you through. We've got 1/15 of a second, f5.3 ISO 100. I've exposed it quite bright. Right, so that's the image we've got at the moment, but like I say, I will wait until that sun comes out a bit. So the picture I'll show you will either be this one here, or in a few minutes time when the sun comes out. Tell me what you think. Right, I've come across my next composition. It's, as you can see, it's still misty out, which is really good, just above freezing. The sun has now gone in, but I don't think that'll make much difference because the mist is hanging on. So what we've got here, I'm not quite sure if you can see it in the back of my camera, we've got this tree on its own, and it's lost all its leaves, and it's absolutely covered in moss. As you can see, absolutely covered in moss, and it is catching the light absolutely brilliantly. If the sun was out, it'd probably be blown out too much, so we can make this quite a moody image. What I've got on the left hand side is a silver birch just to frame the image on the left, and the right is the entire tree itself. We have got some fir trees behind it, but they're like misted out really, so what we've got in the forefront is just this tree on its own. So I'll just zoom in and just make sure it is in focus. There we go. I'll zoom back out again. We're shooting at 1/15 of a second, f5 ISO 100, and I'm shooting at about 70mm or so. I'll take this image. I would like to give this a bit of a moody image when I process this one. It's just the fact that we've got no sun now, so just to darken it all down and just accentuate the colours on the branches which are covered in moss, that will give a really good glow to them, I think, and then everything in the background will be nice and dark. I'll pop it up now for you and take a look. Cheers. Right, I've decided to move from my last location. I got back in my car, decided to drive about a mile or so to my next location, and as I was doing so, the sun's come back up again. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and normally if you're trying to do woodland photography or anything like that, normally it's just too harsh, the sun, but luckily we've still got all the mist out. So I've just decided to walk up this path and just catch the last of the mist and it being illuminated by the sun just before it vanishes really. So I'll talk you through this image. Morning. Where was I? Yep, so I've overexposed in this image just to squeaky brakes. Right, so I'm overexposing this image just to make the mist really stand out. As you can see, it's virtually white in there, and they're just coming through these trees. Let me just show you, let me walk around here and I'll show you what I mean. That sun now is just heating this place up so much, there is just mist everywhere, which is going to make some fantastic images. So I'm going to pack up this shot here and I'm going to move on to my next one while the mist is still around. And just like that, the mist is gone. As you can see, it's about 2 minutes after I took those images and it's absolutely clear now. Blue sky, sun's out, all the mist and everything's now gone. So I would suggest, if you do come across some mist somewhere in a little woodland, whatever you do, don't just leave it, stay where you are, because it will blow through possibly in a matter of minutes. So I was well lucky just to stay in this one little place, take my time and just get the images in one place. Maybe walk 20-30 meters either side of where I first started from, but it was well worth it. Much better than going, right, I'm gonna try and chase it down the road or anything like that. That's just not going to happen, because we all know mist is really elusive. Fog is, it just blows in, next thing you know it blows out again. So it's well worth just hanging into one place. I was very well fortunate just to stay where I was and just enjoy those particular images that I got. I will pop some more up for you as well, the ones that I took which I didn't walk through with you, just to show you what I got as well. And I think I'll call it a day now. It's well, it's nearly midday, so had a good walk, been here since about 7:30, 8 this morning. If you have liked this video, please like and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.